Let us try to solve the seventh problem in part B. The problem requires us to create a package. So it requires us to create two tables. One is the master table and the other one is the transaction table. The specification for the table is given in the question itself. So I am going to just copy the required part for the table 1, that is the item master, and let's try to create it. So I go here to my notepad++ and I have already selected the language as SQL. Let me go with the create table statement and I'm going to create the item master. The item master contains the item number, which you can take it as a number. If you want, you can specify a number to this. Item name, let me give it as varchar, and let's put it as varchar. You can take it as anything, 25 or 50, anything you can take it. And the stock refers to how many items are on stock. So let me take again number of 5, number of 10, anything will work. So some items are there in the stock and some unit price. That let me again take a number, and you can also take the price as, let's say, 10,2. So you have taken the item, but that's not the end of it. They have told us something else also. So let's look at whatever they have said. They said that the primary key should be there, that is for the item number, and there is a check constraint for stock and price, which says that the price must be greater than 0 and the stock must be greater than 0. So let me apply the primary key for this one. Also there is a check constraint, so let me say check, and let me say that check the stock must be greater than 0. This is what they have said, stock must be greater than 0. Also there is one other check constraint for the unit price. Also they have said the same thing, unit underscore price must be greater than that. So let me do that thing also. So that creates 1, and then they said that insert 5 elements into the table. That is what they have said, insert 5 records. So let me describe this table first. This is required for your practical, so just describe. Once you create the table, just describe it and then insert into the table, that is item master, the values you need to insert it and specify the values. Now you can specify the item number, the name, stock, and this one. I have already done that thing. Let me go here and I have created the list here. Then I'm going to just copy paste it. This is just an insertion of records, so I don't want you to waste my time on the video here. So what I've done is item number is 1, so this is what I'm doing. Item number, then item name, then the stock and the unit price. So all are there. So this one after the other I am inserting. I am inserting 5 records into the table, and then let's look at what else they expect us to do. The next thing they are expecting us to do is they expect us to create a item transaction. So let's try to create the item transaction. I'm going to go here and say create table, and I will call it as item transaction, Let me take the item number. Let me take again number of size 5. If you want, you can take the size, or you can leave it as it is. Quantity, again number. Say let's see how much I have taken here. The quantity stock I have taken it as 5. I'm not going to put long values over here. And the transaction date, that is the date itself, that will create the table 2. You can also describe this table once it is done, so you can describe it. Apart from that, once you insert some records, you can use your favorite select star just to see whether things are there from your table. That table is the item master. So these are just for practical purpose. You can do that thing. Now that's what they have said. There is no constraint as such in this table. Let's quickly create all of them, and let's see whether we are able to do it. Now when I try to do it, I may have already created this table during the actual practicals, so there may be a table already exist, error may come. In my case, in that case, I'm going to just drop the table if it is already there. So I'm going to just run it, and you notice that the name is already there. In my case, because I've already demonstrated to you in the lab, so it's already there. You don't need to do this one, because unless and otherwise you really have that table. I'm going to drop that table. Oops. I can drop that table first. So I will drop that table, and where is that table? I'm going to drop that table. I think okay. Let me drop that table and then create it. You don't need to do it unless and otherwise the table is already there in your database. So I think 2 times it came. Something really happened. I don't know. Did I type it 2 times? No, I think some copy paste error was there. Okay, let's go ahead and let's create one. That table is created. I can describe this table for you. I'm not going to zoom in for you, because there is nothing much to be done over here. If you want, just see there. I am just inserting one record, and I'm just creating a table. There's nothing much to be done over here. So I have created the second record, and the third record, and fourth record, and finally the fifth record has been created. Let's run the star on the table, and you notice that item master contains so many items. Let me create the transaction table for you, so that the things are easy. Now again, I think the transaction table already exists. Let me do it and let me show it. The name already exists. If you get that thing, the table already exists. What it says is the table already exists. Now I'm going to drop that particular table, that is item transaction. I will remove this table. In my case, the table already is there, because I have already demonstrated to you in the lab. So I will drop that table and recreate it. So that will create the table, and I can describe this table. I think so this is what I have. There's nothing much to be done. So with this, your first part is over. So let's go ahead with the second part. What is that they are expecting us to do it? I'm going to create it in a new file here, the second part. So what is that they are expecting us to do? So the next thing they say is a create package, and specify that so many things need to be done there. So create package with the name package pk items. So I'm going to say create or replace package, okay, as, okay, and finally I'm going to end this package. So what is there in that package? So in this package they said there must be a function called as check item. So let's create a function, okay, function check item. What is there inside that function? So let's look at what they have said. Function check item is used to check whether specified item number exists. So the function takes item, I'm going to say item number, item number. I am not using the word e there, or I can say I number, item number as number, okay. It takes only one parameter, item number, and checks whether the item exists or not. It returns a numerical value 1 if the item exists, or it returns a value 0 if the item does not exist. So it's going to return, in any case this function is going to return, this is what we know, this function is going to return n, that's for sure. Return not n, this number, that's for sure. So it's going to return a number. It takes a item number and returns something back to us. Let's look at the second part. Second part, they said that create a procedure. So let's try to create a procedure. I think let's try to create a procedure. Okay, go here and let me try to create a procedure. So procedure, and the name of the procedure they have given, and what this procedure is trying to do. This procedure will take argument item number and quantity. So let's take that one. So I'm going to take it number as number, okay, and quantity I'll take it as qty as number, okay. This is what it has said. Now there are a few things you must understand here, and that is you can put in here. See, this is not really required. In to say that is input parameters. In you can say it is input parameters. In you can say it is an input parameter, or you can use the word out there. In means input parameter, out means output parameter. Whether you say it or not, it's not going to make much of a difference, but just for the sake of brevity I am just using that. So this function, you notice that it takes two things. One is the item number, that is the function takes the item number, the other one takes the item quantity. So this is what they have said. Let's create the body for that. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to just paste it, and I'm going to just make the package body one extra thing, package body. This is only one extra thing that you are doing. So you are, I don't know what happened, but you are putting one body extra here, which is not there in the heading, the specification so called. So let's create the function here. So let me write function as, and let's use the begin word, begin and end. The function will end here, okay. So this is the function I am supposed to write. What is that I am supposed to write? So the item, function item, used to check whether the specified item exists or not. Let's go to the table here, and I think I deleted everything. I have the start from item master. So let me go here and let's run start from item master. Now I am supposed to take one item number, and I am supposed to verify that item number in this list. If the item number exists in this list, then return 1. Otherwise, return 0. That's what it function is doing. It takes some item number and verifies whether that item number exists or not. How do you verify, by the way, that item number exists or not? What is the syntax? So you say select start from item master, where you say item number equal to 1. So this, if you run this query, what is going to, you are going to get? You get one record. Item number 2, if you say, and if you run this query, you get something. Item 20, what you get is an exception that says no data found. So this is what you are supposed to do. If no data found, then return 0. If data is found, then return 1. This is what you are supposed to do it. So this is that you are supposed to do it. Let's go back to the function here, and this is what you are supposed to do it. So select start from item master, where item number is not equal to 1, 2, 3. Item number is the one that is given in the question. So item number in general is I number. This is the input parameter. So you just take that parameter and then put it over here. So you just say this is item number. Now this is not going to work because I have already told you that when you try to run this item number is equal to 1 or something, one record is going to come to you. You are going to get a record. Now this record has to be stored somewhere in the memory. So here, if you notice, you are just reading it. Now if you just read it and leave it like this, the oracle will complain and say that after getting the record, where am I supposed to save it? So give me one variable where I can save it. So I can create one object of type record. But if you look at this one, there is no need for looking at item, keyboard, stock and price. This is of no use. I am only verifying whether this item exists or not. Many ways in which you can do it. You can use the word count here. Count how many records are there. But I am going to do a very simple one. I am going to just read item number. So if you just read the item number, you are going to get only one value here. Okay. If you get one value, that's enough. If you don't get one value, you know that suppose if you are reading item number 10, you don't get anything, no data found, or you get some data is found. So I am just using one variable. Again, you can use count star, you can do that. It will return one value. One and the same, there is not going to make much of a difference. You are going to read just one item, that's all. Okay. So just read one item into it. So let's take one variable. I can take the variable as remember, very important thing. When you try to take these variables, I number is used, IT number is used, item number is already there. This is there in the table. So be careful in using it because these are global variable. They will be available everywhere. So you will end up in a slightly bigger trouble. So I am going to take item, okay, item as number. You can take any variable, but whenever you take a variable, assume see this is the field name, by the way. If you look at this one, item number is a field name, so you can't do anything. The variable that you are declaring here, see to it that you declare even though all of them are item number, don't declare them as item number itself. You will end up in troubling yourself and you will get confused. So that's why I'm using different variable names here. Okay. So my query is, now I have fine-tuned my query, not this one, sorry. My query is this one. Okay, so let's take, this is my query, where item number is equal to I number. So I'm just reading item number. I am going to say into read item number into IT number. Okay, small variation from the item master where this is the case. So just for your understanding, I brought it into 2 lines. So what I'm doing is I'm reading the item number into, how did it went to the other side? Okay, let me, I didn't really get it how it went. Okay, anyhow, it did something. Let me explain it again. So you are reading item number from the where is it? You are reading this item number. So you read this item number into this item number into this variable which is already declared here. Okay, you read that into variable from the table, that is rest part is you know very well. From this table you are reading it. Okay, and the condition is where item number must be equal to the item number specified. Whatever item number that is specified, that item number you are using it. So this item number that you are trying to read, this item number is given here. So you are, some number is given, you try to check whether that a number exists, and what you are reading is you are trying to read the item number into this variable. That's all. You may succeed or you may not succeed. If you succeeded, that means you return 1. As simple as that. Okay, that is if you succeed. If you don't succeed, you are going to say exception, and you are going to say when no underscore data found. This is the cursor attribute. Then you are not going to do anything as such. You return 0. That's it. If it is there, you return 1. If it is not there, you return 0. That's all you need to do. There is nothing much to be done over here. Let's look at the procedure. So what is that we are supposed to do it? So let me also write the begin and end for my procedure also. So I am supposed to write the procedure as the begin and end the procedure. Okay, things are good. There's nothing to be worried about. So we have the procedure that takes 2 arguments. The first argument it takes is the item number, and the second argument is the item quantity. So it takes the item number, and what it does, item number is used to check whether the item exists. If the item exists, you do something. If the item is not there, you show the message. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's check whether the item exists. So this item is there, item number. So I'm going to say item exists. Okay, I'll take it as a number. So just for practical purpose, I will say item exist equal to, I will call this function, I have created this function, check item function. I'll call this function item, and I am going to supply this variable, which is this variable. The procedure has one input variable. I'll pass that variable to that function. So this is it. I'll pass this one. to the variable. That's it. Now this function can either return 1 or it returns 0. So if it returns 1, that means the item exists. If this function, if it returns 1, that means the item exists. If it does not return 1, that means if it is written 0, item does not exist. So this is simple as that. So if I'm going to say if item exists is equal to 1, if item exists equal to 1, then you do something else. See, this is going to return only 2 part. So else I will write that part. If item returns 1, if this function returns 1, then you say item exists. Otherwise you will say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, and you say item does not exist. So this is simple. If it is not there, you just say item does not exist. If the item exists, whatever that, I am supposed to do it. So if they say if the item exists, check if the required quantity is available or not. If the required quantity is not available, you give the message. So next part is, let's go here and let's check for this one. I will use star here just to show. So in that table, this item exists, that part is there. This item exists. This item exists. Now you check for the stock. If somebody says give me 450 keyboards, it is not there in the stock, you say it is not possible. So in other words, if the required quantity is greater than the stock quantity, you say it is not possible. Otherwise you say it is possible. So just verify whether the stock exists or not. Let me take it as a stock variable that is already there. Okay, I will say available quantity as number, as simple as that. Available quantity as number. Okay, now let me try to read from this one. I'm going to read the stock, only the value of stock. So I'm going to read the stock for the item number 1. Okay, because I only want that stock, because I want to verify the quantity. Okay, I will have to verify it. So go here. So let me copy that query and let me paste it here. Here I am going to say select stock into available quantity. So what is that I am doing? Let me make it proper and show you. So what is that I am trying to do is I have this stock quantity here. So I have this stock quantity here. I read this stock quantity from the table into this variable which is declared here, and I compare that value. So whatever stock I am getting, I compare this value, available quantity, which I am reading it from the database, into the quantity that is given in the procedure. If it is less, we say it's not possible. If it is more, we will do something. That part we will see later. So let's do this part. So what is that I'm going to do? If available quantity is less than required quantity, that is the quantity that is provided. Okay, if you want, you put a circular bracket, then you do something, else you do something, and if statement has to be ended with the end if. Else part is very simple. What is this else part? If the available quantity is less than the what to say given quantity, if it is less than that, then you say that okay, what you say, quantity we do not have, okay, our required quantity of item is more than available quantity. Okay, you can say anything, but I just given very lengthier one. Required quantity is of item is more than available quantity. So somebody who is going to read it, they know very well, okay, the required quantity is more. Otherwise, what is that I'm supposed to do? Let's look at that. If it is available, insert a record into item transaction. So let's look at the item transaction. We have item transaction where I need item number, quantity, and transaction date. How do you insert a record into this? You say insert into item transaction, and you say values, okay, and you say item number. This is item number, first one, item number, quantity, and transaction date. I will take it as system date. Okay, why did I take that as system date? Because it is mentioned in the program that use current date. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do it. You know very well, this is going to insert it. I'll do the same thing over here. I will use it, but quantity, this item number is the item number that is given here, IT number, this is the number. So this is the, I'll take it to the next line just for your understanding. I'm taking it to the next line. This is not required that you have to write it in the next line. So this is the item number, quantity is this one, and system date remains same. That's one part. And what else they say? They have also said that modify the stock item. Remember, when you, if you go to the stock here, let me put the star from here, item master. If 100 quantities are given out, this stock value has to change. If you sell 100 items, then this has to be reduced to 150. So whatever quantity item you are giving, that much you have to reduce it. How do you do it? It's a very simple thing. How do you, by the way, how do you do that? How do you change this one? You don't say select, you say update item master. Okay, if you want to change the stock, how do you do it? Update item master, set stock equal to whatever stock which was previously there minus whatever quantity that you have already sold. The remaining part is where which item you have sold, that item you have to do it. This is the general syntax. We're updating it. So let's go ahead, and for your understanding, again I'm taking it to the next line. Update item master, set stock equal to, I think I'll take it as stock equal to stock minus quantity. What is this quantity? Quantity is given here. This is the whenever this function is called, this quantity I want to use it, item minus quantity, where this is equal to that. Okay, if everything is fine, you set both of them, you say transaction successfully completed. Transaction successful, whatever it is. So it comes in capitals. How many years? So I think spelling is yours. Okay, so I have done it. Let's try to create this one. I'm going to select everything and I'm going to paste it, and let's go ahead and let's create the body. I think in my case that package is already there. Okay. So you don't need to do this one. In my case I have already demonstrated that it's already there. Run it first. Okay, then I'm going to create the package, body of the package. There may be some errors. There may be error. So equal. Okay, so equal is somewhere I have set equal. That is right at the beginning. I have set somewhere check item. This is assignment, so this is not equal. That's assignment equal. So I think that's all. Hopefully one error. Let me take it back. Let me paste it. This is the body. Okay, package body created. Let me demonstrate with an example. So I'm going to declare, I'm creating an anonymous block here, begin, and I'm going to end. What we need is the quantity. Okay, I'll say required quantity as number, and item number, required item number as number. Okay, that's all we need. Let's read this one. I think I will put this later. One is here, one is here. Okay, let me start with the item number. I'm going to say enter item number. Okay, then I'm going to say one more, enter quantity. Okay, I'm going to call this function. Now where is this function? It is there inside a package. And inside that package you call this procedure. What is the name of that procedure item. So, and you pass two parameters, item required item number and required quantity. Okay, so that's all you need to do. So very simple one. Before we run this one, let me paste it. Before I do this one, I would like to show a few things here. Before I run it, I'm going to say select star from item master. So this is item master. Okay, also select star from item transaction. I would like to show the values before I do the transaction, and I would like to show the same values after I do the transaction. So this much I'm going to take it and just run it. Let's start with the first one. Select start from item master. The items are there. So keyboard is 250. Item number 1, keyboard is 250. You can notice there. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do the second part. I'm going to run the second one. No data is found in the item transaction. So now let me run this one. And I'll get an item 1, not 101, item number 1, and I want, if you notice, there were 250 items were there, keyboards were there. If this is going to work fine, then everything should, transaction is successful. It is what it said. Let me check. And you notice from 250 the stock item has changed for the keyboard. From 250 it has changed to 150. That is good. Let's go ahead and let's do the other part. And in the transaction table there was nothing. Now there is a 100 items which are being sold. Now let's go for some other things. Suppose if you say item number 10 which does not exist, you must get an error message. Item does not exist, correct? Now if you notice here, I just check, there are 150 keyboards are there. I will try to withdraw 250 items keyboard from the, it is item number 1. So I'll say item number 1, quantity is 200, which is more than available quantity. 150 was there. Submit it. I must get the required quantity of the item is more than available. So that's all in this video. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again.